The holiday of Tu B'Shvat is coming up, which is, they call the birthday of the trees. It has significance in halacha and Jewish law, and also in Kabbalah. I'd like to speak for a minute about trees. The Torah compares a person to a tree, and therefore, by learning a little about trees, we can learn a little bit more about ourselves. The creation of the trees in Bereshis. And God said, "Let the earth sprout vegetation, seed yielding herbs and fruit trees producing fruit, according to its kind, in which its seed is found on the earth." And it was so. And the earth gave forth vegetation, seed yielding herbs according to its kind, and trees producing fruit, in which its seed is found, according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. Basically, if you were listening very closely to what I said, there's a little bit of a discrepancy. God asked for fruit trees producing fruit. In Hebrew, eitz pri, oseh pri. Eitz pri, oseh pri. Eitz means wood or tree. Pri means fruit. Oseh means to make. And pri means fruit again. Eitz pri, oseh pri. That was the demand. Fruit trees that make fruit. What happened? So the Torah says that what came out were eitz oseh pri, trees that make fruit. The request was eitz pri oseh pri, fruit trees making fruit. What happened? Eitz oseh pri, trees making fruit. I ordered fruit tree making fruit. What did they bring me? Trees making fruit. Now, it's not so different, right? Well, what does it mean? What's a fruit tree making fruit? So our sages explain that what was ordered were trees that tasted like the fruit. You have a mango tree, it tastes like mango. You have a passion fruit tree, it tastes like passion. You have an apple tree, it tastes like apples. The tree, eitz pri, oseh pri. Fruit trees that make fruit. But what happened? What you have instead is you have trees that make fruit. The passion fruit tree does not taste like passion. It merely tastes like wood. The apple tree tastes like apple wood. The pear tree tastes like wood. Right? They all taste like wood. They're wood. They don't taste like the fruit. What was ordered was trees that taste like fruit, that make fruit. What we got was trees that taste like trees. Why? Why did that happen? What's the difference? Was the ground disobeying God? Right? The ground was like, hey, that's ridiculous. Like, I don't have to go that far. It's enough that we're going to have trees that make fruit. I don't need fruit trees taste like fruit. We're just going to have trees that make fruit. What was the ground disobeying? The ground doesn't have feelings per se. It doesn't disobey the same way a person would disobey an order. So I heard from one of my Rabbeim that the truth is that the idea that God was going for was trees that taste like the fruit. That was the goal. That was the ideal. But what was produced? What was produced is what's possible. What's possible is trees that make fruit. Why? What does this mean? So let's think about it. The tree represents the process. Trees represent the effort. The tree takes in nutrients. The tree has leaves that reach up towards the sun. There's photosynthesis. There's the xylem and the phloem. There's the bark and the roots. There's the very exciting root tip. If you've ever been part of middle school science, there's all these things that the tree is reaching up, reaching out, putting in effort, growing and growing and growing, and then it produces the fruit. The fruit is the goal, right? The point of the apple tree is to have the apple. But the process to get there is this nitty-gritty, difficult process. In life, we have a lot of tests. In Hebrew, right, a test is when we struggle, we have challenges, we have obstacles. That's a test. In Hebrew, that is, the word for test is nisayon. Very good. Nisayon, test, is also related to the Hebrew word nes. We usually think of the word nes as miracle, but what it also means is sign. A sign, like here is such and such. A test shows what you're really made of. It's not crossing the finish line that shows you're the greatest runner. It's the rest of the race. The finish line is when it's over, right? There was every other step that was important, not the step where you're crossing the yellow tape, or in my case, walking over the already broken yellow tape. But whatever it is, when you're crossing that line, that's not the most important part. That's the goal. That's the finish line. What life is the effort, right? We go for that final thing. We go for the goal. We go for the fruit. But it's really in the test, the difficulty. That's where the nes is. That's where the sign is. What was ordered was fruit trees that bear fruit. What that's symbolic of is that in all the effort, you can already see the production. In all the effort, you can already see the goal. In all the effort, you can already see the produce. But that's not what we have in this world. What we have in this world is the difficulty, the running of the race, the tree, right? That dry bark and wood. What we have in this world is the eitz, just the wood by itself. The eitz is oseh pri. The eitz has produce, but we don't always see it. We don't live in a world of eitz pri oseh pri. Eitz pri oseh pri, that the fruit trees make fruit, means even the process itself, you see all the accomplishment. That's not where we live. You only see accomplishment at the end. We don't see accomplishment in this world. God said our efforts are for the fruit, and you should know that every moment of accomplishment and test and struggle is really, in my eyes, says God, is eitz pri oseh pri. Is that the struggle itself is what makes the produce. But that's not what we see in this world. All we see is the struggle. It's eitz oseh pri. That the growth process doesn't have that sweet taste. It's only what comes at the end. So a lot of the times in life, we put in a lot of effort and we think, where's the produce? But really, what we don't know is that one day, it's the taste of the effort itself which is going to be sweet. It's not really the crossing of the finish line that makes you realize you're a winner. It's the effort that you put in on every step of the race. Thank you all very much.